YouTube, it's your boy Sean Matry here with a brand new YouTube video. This is Guzz and 18 trainer Guzz. So if you don't know what Guzz does, maybe you're new to Pocket and you weren't around for the last couple of sets. So Guzz is an Ultra Beast, and it is one of Lusamine's bosses. It has two different attacks, two for colorless is Grind Core, and you flip a coin until you get heads. It also does 30 damage. For each head you get, you take away 1 energy off your opponent's Pokemon. Now, it is random, so if they're running dual energy, then, you're not going to necessarily toss whatever you want. So if you go up against something, let's say, like Poliwag, then you can't just, not Poliwag, Poliwhirl, then you can't detach whatever you want. But you can definitely detach random energy off of their Pokemon, so discard it. I should say discard. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is detached, but whatever. And then you have 4 for Tyrannical Hole for 120. Now, that may not seem like a heck of amazing attack, but consider Lusamine, which, if you don't know, I will go over soon. And it also has a 4 retreat cost, but that's irrelevant because you're going to have Celesteela anyway. And it is weak to play at about 170 HP for a basic, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then you have Celesteela, which is 120, and it can switch out Ultra Thrusters with any of your Ultra Beasts. So you can switch this out to get in your Celesteela, to get in your Oricorio, and then you can one-shot the Ori. Not to get in your Oricorio, to get in your Oricorio attacker, and then you can one-shot Ori if you get a heads. But you're going to have a guaranteed way to do that. So we play 2 Potion, 2 Pokeball. Potion just heals up, just to protect the Guzzler as much as possible. 2 Pokeball, 1 Repel. Repel is good to swap out their Oricorio in case they're like trying to stall on it, and you can activate this alongside a supporter because it is an item card. But this only works on basics, not on stage 1 or 2s, so keep that in mind. 2 Rocky Helmets, if they want to attack our Guzz, they're going to pay for it. 2 Professor's Research, why not? Draw 2. 1 Cyrus, 1 Mars, because hand control is so relevant this meta. We're on double PCL to heal up our Guzzlord and also protect it from certain conditions. And then 2 Lusamine. So if you don't know what Lusamine does, it is essentially Volkner, and again, you may not know what Volkner does if you're new to Lusamine. Basically, if your opponent has at least 1 point, you can use Lusamine, and what will happen is any of your Ultra Beasts will detach all discarded energy, not all, 2 random discarded energy from your discard pile. Now, your discard pile can be from retreating, although most of the time you're switching. You're not actively retreating in this deck, but anytime your Ultra Beast pretty much goes down, you will have the opportunity to Lusamine, and then you can immediately have your second Guzzlord ready to attack at full strength. So that's very, very effective for you. So if they take out your first Guzzlord, then this one's ready to come in, and your second one's ready to come in and Tyrannical Hold them, which is very, very good. The other thing that's very, very, like I said about Lusamine, is you can, in some cases, retreat out the Guzzlord. It does have a 4 retreat cost, but if it's damaged by the time you get to 4, you can retreat it out. If your other Guzzlord has like 2 energy on it, then you can attach 2 to that and then start attacking for 120 that way. But the other way is the most common, like I said. And then we play Will. So basically, you flip a coin. If it's heads, you don't flip a coin. Your first coin flip will be heads. And that's very important because something like Celesteela only requires you to flip a heads, which you'll guarantee the heads, which means you will one-shot Ori. If you want to play 2 of these, go ahead, cut a heal or whatever. But I like all the healings because you're mainly focused on Guzz. But if you want to cut a heal and play a second Will, that's also acceptable. Another reason why you want to also play Will is because Will is essentially good with Guzzlord too. So if you want to guarantee an energy discard, it will guarantee a heads for you. So that can be something that you may want to consider depending on how much energy that your opponent needs to attack. So if you go up against something like Darkrai Giratina, you may want to guarantee that heads to slow down any energy building that they may have in the active spot. So it really depends on the matchup. And then Red, last but not least, because Red is very good, we have a 120 attacking point with 4 energy. A lot of Pokemon in this meta are at that 140 one-shot point. Espeon is at 140. It's also weak to Dark, which is very, very important because you're hitting for 140 with Red. If they have a cape on Espeon, you will one-shot it with Red. So you're automatically one-shotting Espeon anyway, but if you have a cape, if they have a cape on it, then you're one-shotting Espeon through a giant cape. Also, Red is also very good against Arceus. Arceus is at 140 as well. Darkrai's at 140 as well. So you can kind of see it. If Giratina attacks you once, it goes down to 130, which also puts it in red range as well. And even if they cape you, let's say they were to giant. Well, no, it wouldn't matter anyway. No, actually, never mind. It would. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. They would a giant cape. They would take 20 off the Giratina. They would go down to 150, and then if you read them, you attack them for, let's say, 140. Then they would die on the Giratina if they attack again. So just keep that in mind. So there's definitely a lot of niche uses for red in this deck. Anyway, on to the gameplay in this deck. We're always starting off with Guzzlord. Well, not always. I mean, we could be starting off with Celesteela, but generally, we're going to be starting off with the Guzzlord. Alright, so we're going second. We're going for first in the Suicune. Ideally, we would like to go second, but it's not going to be the case. The good news is we're not going to have really much of a bench for him to really hurt us with. So that's really good. Suicune's not going to be able to attack. Thinking if he Marses me, do I want to just hold research? No, I might need a backup later. Alright, we will put the Guzz down and we'll pass. We do have potions. Like I said, we don't really want to keep a high bench here. Oh, he's running the new freaking Gyarados with us. Okay. Okay, so he's not going to put it on Suicune, which is smart. He might have an elemental switch, so that's something he could realistically have. I don't want a Pokeball because I might want to draw onto it if he eventually does get to Mars us. So I'm not going to throw anything down. I do have a bunch of potions and PCLs in the hand, so we can kind of mitigate some of this damage that he would put off Suicune, if, of course, he happens to have, Okay, now I can put it down safely. Now we will put things down, because he's not attaching to Suicune. That's why I wanted to wait. I didn't want to put things down until he actively committed to whatever he wanted to attack into. Now what we're going to do... This Gyarados can hit for 40 more for each water he discards. Now, he could have a Leaf to get rid of that Suicune out of the active. I don't see a Lusamine yet. I'm just going to start rocking everything. I could put it on Celesteela, but I don't think I want to do that. I'd rather just put it on the Guzz for now. Okay, and we're just going to attack for 30. This will force him to have to use Irida if he wants to keep that alive. Okay, sure. Woo! We discard nothing, children. But this is essentially what we want to do. Like I said, I didn't want to commit my bench until I knew exactly where he was going to put that energy. I am expecting a Leaf at some point. Okay, so he is caping the Gyarados. We can't one-shot it without the cape anyway, because it is a basic, so we can't red it. And we don't play Giovanni. So that's something. Okay, there's Lusamine. So that's good. We can just keep attaching for now. Just keep hitting him for 30. He could have a Leaf. We got to be very careful with this. You have to be very careful. Actually, no. Him caping there was correct, because we do have the Rocky Helmet. No, him caping there was correct, because we did have the Rocky Helmet. Okay, so we did have Lyra. I did expect some kind of Leaf, but Lyra's very effective for him. He can build on Palkia, which is a bit concerning. Okay, so he's going to discard, and he's going to hit for 100 now. We do have a lot of potions. So he can hit for additional 40 more. He did discard 2. So he did hit for 100. He'd have to discard, so if he discards 3, he would hit for... Let's see, 120, 140. If we heal, we can heal up 70, so we go to exactly 140. So we'd make him have to discard 2. We can't one-shot him anyway, so... Yeah, we're gonna do this for sure. This will also clear out our hand as well. We're just gonna go to 120. There's no need to go to 140, because 140 doesn't actively do anything. If he discards 2, then he'd hit for 100. I mean, unless he has red. If he has red, then maybe. Yeah, maybe we do it to play around red. Because red does kind of change the math a little bit. And then we will put it on the Guzzlord, and we'll hit for Tyrannical Hole. We could Grindcore, but that's a little bit dangerous, and we may not hit him. And then he can, because we already hit 2 heads already, so I think it's just better to put the pressure on. And without healing, he dies to a Rocky Helmet. Although I do expect maybe an Irida. Okay, so he is playing the Fishing Net. Which is kind of scary now, because now he does get back to 2 basics. So he can one-shot the Gyarados. I mean, the Guzzlord. But we do have a second Lusamine. So he may not be dead just yet. But he's also going to die himself if he kills this. Which we can get 30 on the Palkia. If he does hit that. Or depending on whatever he brings in. So if he does decide to one-shot the Guzzlord, then he's going to have to take down every bench. Well, actually, no. He'd have to take down the Palkia with it now. Never mind. Yeah, he'd have to take out Palkia because he'd have to give up all 3 bench to kill the Guzzlord. Yeah, so this was definitely the right move on our end. Okay, so he doesn't want to attack. Which makes sense. Okay, so we can start building up on the back. Grindcore versus whatever doesn't really change the math at all. Our Lusamine will be ready to attack. If he attacks into this, we should win. Because Palkia without a cape would go down to 130, and then Red would take him out of range. The only thing I fear here is a Mars. That would be the only danger here. No, I think we could run. And then start rolling up, I guess. I don't think we actually attack here. I don't think it's right that we attack. I don't think attacking is correct. Because I think he's got a Mars. If I attack here, he can Mars me, and then we could lose Lusamine. So I think it's correct that we force him to retreat the Gyarados, because he won't be able to attack with Palkia unless he has another Lyra. The only way I get punished here is if he has another Lyra. That's the only thing. But either way, I'm setting myself to lose to Mars until the second Lyra. Okay, so he does not have it. So this was the right play, I feel. It gives me an extra turn to build on Lusamine, essentially. Actually... do I swap in for... no, because Celesteal needs 3 to attack anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. I could swap into the other Guzz, and then Palkia can't one-shot if you have the Cyrus. Yeah, we can do that. And then we can keep this one healthy on the bench. Yeah, so this is correct. Then this gives me another turn, so I don't die to Lusamine right on the spot. Yeah, this is correct. This was the smart way to do it. Okay, he can't, what's the word I wanted to say? If he Cyruses us in, we can still Lusamine. He'll lose all the energy off Palkia, but the main point of this is to force him to attack with the Palkia. And then it forced him to have a second Lyra at the time. And he might not play too. It's more likely that he has a Mars. He can't Cyrus and Mars in the same turn, so this is good for us. So this plays around the Mars, essentially, a little bit more. Okay, that's fine. Okay, now we win the game. Because now I Celesteela, bring in the Guzzlord, and then we one-shot the Palkia with the red. Very good. Very good! Prevent me from dealing damage on the first turn if he evolves and starts attacking. Good thing we're going second here. I'd rather go second into this matchup. And we do have potions to counteract this Darkrai ping. Okay, so he is running the Tyrogue, so he would be able to hit for no energy. Now, luckily we're not weak to fighting. We're not Eevee. He's playing this because of Eevee specifically. Okay, so he does have the promo version of this as well. We do see the will. We will Rocky Helmet. Alright, so he's gonna ping us. Like I said, we have potions to beat this. The one thing I like about potion is that we can empty out our hand. Okay, that's annoying. Now, I don't play Guzma because there's so much, like, non-room in this. Okay, now we are definitely gonna research here. He's building on the back. He's afraid of the Guzz. He's afraid of the Guzz and cousin. Alright. Also want to research because it digs us for Lusamine much faster. Now, we don't have to necessarily attack into his helmet. Do I want to, though, is the question. I think we do. I think I do want to attack into his helmet. Because the thing is, if I don't do it, then I want to set up Lusamine to kill later on. So I think it's correct. Plus we got a second research. That's more of why I'm willing to do it. Alright! Alright! I understand it now! Yes! Coming soon to a theater near you, negative energy in Pokemon. Now there is Lyra. Lyra is also a factor. Okay, PCL. So PCL would get us back to 160. Darkrai would not one-shot us. The only issue I have with this, well, Darkrai doesn't one-shot us anyway unless he has a red. The only issue, like I said, I have with this place particularly is that if I do that, then we're less likely to draw into Lusamine later on. So that's kind of the issue I have with this play. Plus, we could draw into Celesteela if I don't PCL here. I think PCL is going to really matter unless he has red. But either way, we're losing to one thing or another. So I think we do research here. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the Lusamine. Okay, now I will potion here. I will definitely potion here. Like I said, there was also the possibility that we actively do draw into the potion. And we are going to attach the active, not to the bench, because I want to threaten to hit him for 120. Because like I said, well, not even that, but we do kill him with red. So we definitely want to attach the active. If we weren't threatening to hit him for massive damage, then I would go to the bench to put the 120 out there. Okay, so he's not going to bring in the Darkrai. Again, we do have PCL. If he just researches and draws a bunch of things, the only thing we got to be careful of is Mars later on. That's the only thing we got to be really careful of. Because we do have an increased hand size. That is always a threat in this deck, because we are playing a lot of trainers. Okay, annoying. Because now he's going to be put in the Darkrai range. That's very annoying, and I think he has a Mars. Well, actually, no. If I PCL, he won't. If I PCL, he won't. Okay, so he's got a second Darkrai. He's gonna hit me for... Well, actually... hits me for 20. Go down to 90. No, actually, he will, I think. Yeah, he will be in range. Ooh, Repel is interesting, but the problem... Well, a Repel dodge the helmet. That's actually really, really nice. We do dodge the helmet. So we will Repel. Because I do dodge the helmet. That's very important. And that could be a Cyrus target later. So that could be something that we can Cyrus in later on. That could win us the game as well. So we will Repel here. Okay. So he's going to bring in his Aurora. We are going to PCL now. Now, I could build on the back, guys. But then he retreats and brings in the Tyrogue, which I really don't want him to do either. So no, we're gonna build on the front. If he Cyruses, then... I mean, if he Marses, that's gonna be the only problem with this, but... The problem is if I don't kill it, then he just, undoes the Repel play and just puts us back in that same scenario. So we gotta put him into a scenario where we could top deck Cyrus later. So he does bring in a Darkrai. Darkrai does not one-shot us without a, how should I say it? Without a red. But he can't red Mars in the same turn. He's going to have to do one or the other. That's why the PCL was important here, because it does take us out of range of Darkrai without a red. Now we can Lusamine for 2, attached for the third energy. Okay, so he's going to leave. It's a what, though? Okay, so he's betting on that I don't have Cyrus, I guess. I guess he's betting on the fact that I don't have Cyrus here, but I do. Or red, either one. Take your pick. We have a full art red. We're killing him with the red. It's full art. Sorry, Truesdale, if you get the reference. Not, how should I put it? If I try to play around Mars there, the issue there is that he's just going to play outside the repel play. The point of the repel there was to get rid of his, how should I say it? His, golly, why can't I think of it off the top of my tongue now? Yeah, was to get rid of his, Rocky helmet. Okay, I'm gonna research first. The reason why is I don't mind drawing to all my basics here. Because I want to vomit these things down before I get Mars. Because I'm not going to want to top deck them later on. So I'd rather be in a spot to where I'm going to be able to Mars later on. Alright. So what we are going to do is we're going to bring in the Celesteela now. Just so that way this can tank some hits for us. And we're just going to pass. That's another reason why I want to draw into my basics as well. Because when you're going first, sometimes your best win con is to just roll up on Celesteela. That way your Guzzlord's not actively taking any damage for you. This is the same guy. Oh my gosh, it might be the same guy. Okay, so he is gonna Rocky. Probably not worth it, to be honest. Let's pass. I'm gonna keep the other research in hand. Sure. Sure. Okay, so he's gonna get rid of the will, which is fine. Now we can start whacking him a bit. How bad do I want to draw into a will? I don't want to be Mars to death, so I'm gonna hold for now. So we will flip. Okay, Grindcore does fail, which is fine. It's fine. We're threatening the two-shot this Aurora, which is good. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so he does have another one. He will attack us for 20. Darkrai is threatening to hit us next turn. If I do Potion, then we do not get one shot, which is nice. So we will Potion. We already have Lusamine in hand, so I don't really want to do anything else. We can't Lusamine in red the same turn, so I gotta kind of hope he doesn't have anything on the back foot. Yeah. I think I gotta do it this way. Watch us get the heads now. Ah, I understand. Very good. He's gonna bring the Tyrogue. Alright, so now I can start building on the other Guzzlord, which is good, because that won't be ready to attack. If he Rockies this, I actively don't care, really. So I'm just gonna start building on the other Guzz. That's exactly what we're gonna be doing. Will? Oh, you're a bit late. This will give me... Well, I can't research on Lusamine. That would be an issue, but... Still gives me a... Yeah. No, it's still better. We keep it like this. Yeah. Keep it the plan. I can't... The only downside is I won't be able to Lusamine and, he can win with Cyrus. That's going to be the only downside. What if I don't attack? Is there a world where I can bring in the other Guzz and just tank a hit? There is, isn't there? Yeah, that might be the better play. This I like better. If he wants to kill, make him use the Cyrus. I want to try to get him to go in with the Darkrai. I want to see if he's any willing to commit to Darkrai at this point. That's what I wanted. I want to force him to use Cyrus now. That's what I'm trying to get him to do. I'm trying to bait him into the set. Yep, that's exactly what I was trying to do. That's exactly why I made that play that I did. Now we can attack for 120. He's going to need double Cyrus, which is not common. But I'd rather play around 1 Cyrus than to play around 2. Than to play around none. Okay, now we can bring in this... Actually, no, we win. Because I just bring in this Guzzlord and then we red. Yeah, we win. Perfect! Alright, GG. Tyrannical Ho! Very good. Yeah, so that's the video. I think we're going to try to climb with this in ranked. I definitely want to see what this does. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, it's your boy Try, signing out. Bye, YouTube.